So I return with our 5th episode of this, my 3rd adventure, or what is it, section? I don't know. Oh no, season, whatever. Who knows? I'm going to throw over to Andrew very shortly. He's going to let me know what he did on the end of his one. We're going to throw a link up here, one of those two corners, where you can watch it a little bit more in depth. Classic. I never have a clue where I'm going to be, let alone which side corner I'm pointing. And just to jump into it as well, if you are looking forward to what's going on, season, etc., like, subscribe to me, scoot yourself down into the description. Do the same with Andrew as well. So I'm going to throw over and let Andrew just give you a little quick refresh of what he was up to.
So, yes, we left off. I had the full season with Scalicia, who you joined during your previous season. We managed to get top half in the Fortuna Liga. However, we won the first 2 games in the championship group. Then our striker broke his leg, and we got absolutely slapped about for the rest of the season. I say that it wasn't horrendous. It was just we didn't score a goal for about 8 games in a row.
Yeah, you were just kind of massively out of their depth, weren't they? Really, you did them a disservice.
We're only losing like 1 or 2-0.
Yeah, you did them a disservice into getting up there. You were kind of fighting with the big boys at that point.
Yeah.
And then
went a bit wrong.
Yeah, and then from the end of Andrew's season, we had, I think, 4 days of contract left. So we had the decision as to whether we were going to stay, or
which Scalicia did want us to.
Yeah, or try our hand and see if we can venture out of, and he said Hungary, out of Slovakia. So this is what we're here for. We're going to find out where we ended up and what we managed to do while we were there. I've just told Andrew there's a hell of a lot of save points that I've got here. 13, so feel free to count. Let's jump into the first one.
I can see straight away you left Scalicia, and I've also just noticed it is November.
Yes. Yeah, that is the point. Because we've had such a prolific management career in
sport for choice.
Yeah, in Slovakia, I had too many job offers, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to wait till November before I get approached, because that makes sense. We were approached by a team, again, in Slovakia.
Oh, God.
So we were Scalicia. We were Scalicia. No, it was Fortuna Liga again, unfortunately. So we're Scalicia, who were 10th. So basically, as long as it wasn't Banska Bystrica or Dubnica, it's effectively a step up, unless it's Zlate Moravce, which exactly who it was.
Oh, God.
Needless to say, I told him to get in the bin. So,
fair enough.
We move on to our next one. So only a few days later, just early December now we are. You'll notice we're still in the Fortuna Liga.
That concerns me, by the way.
Yes, it's fine. Don't worry about it. So this time, it isn't a team outside of the top 6.
Okay.
Trenching are the team that offer us the job. So they come to us, offering us a wage of £975 a week, a transfer budget of 120 grand, which is decent.
Not bad, not bad.
And a wage budget of 14k. So if we hop back to the screen we were just on, I'll have a little look as a comparison as to how that is against the rest of the division. I'm trying to be concise with these, but I just think this might be interesting. Salary per annum. So Trenching are 7th. So
just above Scalicia.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit of a jump between the two. Moravce are actually a weaker club, to be honest. But I'm thinking, you know what? We've spent enough time in Slovakia. I fancy moving our way towards Central Europe, maybe even West Europe. I know I'm horrific at the points of the compass. Spain, England, that sort of side. Yeah. So we said no, get in the bin. I'm getting above my station here, and I'm thinking, you know what? It's a good offer, but I'm not having it. We're out of here.
Power mad.
I definitely did. So that was a mistake. We went power mad. I told a decent team to get in the bin. And the next offer we had was 9 days down the road in the form of our Knocker FC, which are in Belgium. I said to Andrew in episode 1 or 2 or 3, I can't remember which one, that I'll be happy if we could go to Belgium. We got a Belgian job, and I thought, you know what? Happy days. And then I looked at them. They are the arguably worst team in the division if we just ignore that ASV Giel exist. And the division is Belgium.
Can I just interrupt you just for one moment and look at Young Genk's odds of 1 to 167?
Yeah, they're quite good. I think this is another one of those things where it's the youth team and it's just been massively skewed. But I've never seen one against 167, to be fair. yeah, so the division, as I was going to say, it's Belgium's third tier. I honestly didn't know it went this far down on the game.
No, I thought they limited it too.
Yeah, they've offered us £400 a week, a transfer budget of minus 1,000. So I think they want me to pay the club £1,000, and a wage budget of less than a third.
That's like your first 2.5 weeks' wages.
Yeah,
you got to pay back.
It's less than a third of what Trenchin had. So, needless to say, I was like, you know what? I would love to be in Belgium, but this isn't the team for us. We have jumped forward a little bit further now. So we went from mid-December to mid-March, another 3 months down the line, and you'll notice that Skalica are actually available. So their replacement manager hasn't done the best. Also, if you do scroll up leading candidates, you'll notice that we're a favourite for a certain MSK Zelina. We're the favourites because they offered us the job. They've came in for £1,000 a week, £200,000 budget, 15 grand a week wage budget. Sorry, and 200 grand.
So that sounds that they're one of the higher teams. Yes.
So we'll hop on to the division. As it stands, they are the fourth best, which was at the point when Trenchin offered us the job. They were also the fourth top, so they're quite close between one another. They've literally the same.
Maybe that's our level, is what they're trying to say.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it seems that way. So we do kind of have a little bit of a missed opportunity not picking up Trenchin. We've got a bit of a saviour with Zelina, but again, we're still in Slovakia.
He's not taking it. Oh, it's in March now.
Yeah, we're still in Slovakia. So did we or didn't we take it, Andrew? Because we've been here for quite a while.
You didn't.
We didn't. Let's have a look. As you can see, Andrew, we did take the job. I thought I couldn't.
All this delaying.
I know. I couldn't run the risk of losing another good team. I'm aware that MSK Zelina have actually been in Europe recently. I say recently. I remember they played against Villa. And this was about 2007. So
that's implying Villa have been in Europe recently, to be fair.
so there we are. But I know they're one of the stronger teams. And you'll see another reason very shortly when we go into the squad and youth as to why I decided to pick them up as well.
It's one of the reasons you couldn't face giving me the save back still unemployed.
Yes, 12 months down the line, we have no job. We are on the dole. We are dole boys. I'm not going to read through this whole thing, but if you do notice, following Zelina's 3-1 Fortuna Liga relegation group defeat against Trenchin, managers' side are currently 8th in the division. So there's a narrative there already between ourselves, Trenchin, the club Trenchin, and Trenchin and us, because we turned them down.
If we're in the relegation group, we've probably got Skalica in there as well.
Yes, they are definitely. Yeah, they are definitely in there. For how long for is a different matter, but they're in there at the moment. So we are Zelina managers. So let's have a little look what we got to play with. So as we stand, as the little thing covered, we just came off the back as a team with a 3-1 loss against Trenchin. We've got Dubnica up next. 23 games on the board played, 27 points. So we're just above. Was it the Kevin ratio?
Yeah.
Or is that
the Kev ratio?
Is that 2-for-1? I can't remember. Whoever. Concerningly, 23 games in the league played. Boris Kirstic, top scorer, 6 goals. That's not ideal. So there's definite question marks. We are the 5th worst for goals conceded and the 2nd worst for goals scored.
Oof.
It's a bit bleak at the moment. 6th worst for attendance as well. But then again, there's only 12 teams, so.
Yeah, so we're just
halfway
smack bang in the middle.
Yeah, pretty much. I'll give you a little overview of the squad. This is every player in the team, so there's quite a lot.
Oh, wow.
But if you notice,
some high potentials.
Yeah, it's all potentials. Look at the state of this team. Personal favourite. I'm not gonna go through every one of them, but there's 3 of these that I've sent as screenshots to Andrew when I've obscured the players' identities to keep them safe. But we've got Mate Zayac, I think that's how you pronounce.
I believe he had a ginger mustache.
He did, yeah. He's a brilliant player, but I just don't know how he fits into us. He's quite a defensive fullback. He can play centre back, and he has done, or at least in the future.
5'9".
Yeah, that's the issue. His jumping reach is 9 as well.
Lisandro Martinez.
So he's not the strongest. So he's all right, and his technique isn't really there. But
good two-footedness, though.
Yeah, the potential is. So maybe we just keep hold of him for a little while and see if we can make some money on him. That might be our long-term plan for this fella. But while he's here, he's going to play. He's only 17. He's very good. Just for context, 3 stars is a league kind of standard player for the league. 4-star is like, I said legend, what they're called when they're good. We'll find out. I'll click on one of them shortly. The other one that we have is Fromentine. He's a Swiss forward. Can play kind of centre attacking mid. When we jump forward, I couldn't figure out exactly where I wanted to play him. But finishing 12, first touch 16, he looks a pretty decent player. He's not the fastest, strongest, doesn't have the biggest jumping reach, but technique 14.
14 flair as well.
Yeah, makes some use of him. Again, 17, 3-star, 4 to 5.
Looks pretty good.
He does look pretty decent. But pick of the bunch, and my personal favourite, is Martin Catula. He can play left wing, right wing, striker, left wing back, but not left mid or left back, because that makes sense.
Obviously.
He's 16. He doesn't even have a contract. The kid's awesome.
Oh, Jesus.
At this point, he's played 2 games off the bench. When we jump forward, he's going to have a few more than that on on his side. We've got Zelina as a club. The best player is Roland Galich. He's 4.5 star. Not a lot of value, unfortunately. He's 25. So even kind of our what's the word? Our established players are still not massively old as well, which is good. But just for context, a leading player is 4.5, and a star player also 4.5. So you're probably looking between 4 to 4.5 for a leading player. So we've got a lot of potential in a very young, very good squad. I've got a new thing here, so I don't know. Our oldest player in the squad, 27.
That is ridiculous.
Very young, very good.
Yeah.
Hence why when I saw these, I was like, yes, please. So
yeah, I was questioning it when you first told me we were back in.
Yeah, it wasn't ideal, but I did say to Andrew at the point when we picked these up, because I threw him a few messages over. I was like, I think I found us kind of a long-term-ish team. I think we can do a good few seasons here, and maybe even challenge for a European competition. Admittedly, probably not Champions League. I think we can get.
Do you mean to qualify or?
No. I want to win it. I think we can win the Conference League with these and potentially challenge for the European. What's it called? Europa League? There we go. Definitely not Champions League. That's not going to be any danger. But I think we'll get a few years under the belt of these younger players. A little bit of money in for the older players. So even like Leo Sauer here is 21. And like he just looks very strong. 6'4". He's quite fast. Not rapid, but he's quite fast.
Winger.
Yeah. Dribbling, first touch. He can't head. For some reason he's 8 heading, so he's just one of those. He's like, what is it, Arnautovic, just tall and skillful, good technique. So he'll do a good job as well. So yeah, I think these guys can be good 2, 3, 4 years down the line. I think we can challenge. I'm
very intrigued.
I think we can win easily the league, and I think we can get to the final of a European competition with these.
You are piling pressure on us for this save.
I think we can do it, but the first thing we need to do is get into Europe. So that's why we're going to jump forward to the point when our youth players come through and see how the league's looking. So we now join the team early May. So we've had the youth intake come through, played a few games after, and then you kind of get the youth summary. So I like to come back for that instead of the actual kind of release of the youth players, because it gives them a few months to mature. If we hop into the fixtures, we've played 5 games since.
Very nice.
We've not lost. We've had goals from Kirstic, who's our striker. I didn't actually show him to you. 6'3", just looks all right. It's pretty good. It's not fantastic.
Like his finishing to be a bit better, but
he's
other than that,
he's all right. Does a job, and he score most of the time. We've only conceded 3 goals.
I'd like to have seen you beat Scalicia, but
yes, so would I. I think if I remember rightly, Peter Chemba. Do you remember the youngster that we signed?
Yeah.
That came up 88th minute. That annoyed me, I gotta be honest. And also this Banska are also one of the weaker teams. So, but we're unbeaten. We did manage to turn over.
Yeah, we're unbeaten in first 5.
Turnover. We managed to turn Trenchin over 1-0. And we also beat Moravce, who are the other team that tried to sign us. So we're doing all right. We've got another 4 games on the board. There is a potential for us if you remember, dependent on how the cup goes. If we finish 7th, we can get into the European playoffs. So we'll jump to the end of the season. At the moment, we're on the same points as Trenchin. So if we just win and they drop any points, That 7th place is ours.
Well, there you go. Just win every game.
Or, before we jump through, Andrew, I'll actually show you the youth prospects. It's literally the reason why we're here.
Point. Yeah.
The exact reason why we came back at this point.
That is looking very good.
I don't know what is going on in their youth academy, but their head of youth development is on crack. He's doing a madness. We've got Tibor Urban, 5'11", looks decent. Hugo Hambalak, again, coming
5'6".
through a winger, yeah. Pretty
Just
speedy.
the complete opposite to the winger that they've currently got.
Yeah,
but...
the determination was a bit sketchy on that fella. Martin Lejiang? Not sure. He's less convincing. Good teamwork, determination, and first touch. And Jacob Noj, I think that's pronounced. Again, looks pretty decent.
Looks pretty good for a midfielder
Has
at the minute.
no strength whatsoever, but he's good on the ball. So we'll see. And we've also got these other fellas that we're not going to worry ourselves about. Now we are actually going to jump through to the end of the season because I've showed you the reason why we're here. So we're jumping in. We're now at the end of the season. We've got our 4 games that we need to play.
Okay.
Obviously, as we says, we don't want to drop any points. And as long as we don't drop any points, we'll
finish above Trenchard.
Yeah, we'll find ourselves in Europe, provided they don't drop points, because they do a head-to-head. And over the course of the season, they've slapped us about, if we're honest. Slapped us about quite a bit. But not when we were here, the old useless manager.
Yeah.
So, as we said, carry on our unbeaten streak. We lost to Dubnich.
Oh.
That wasn't a good start.
They're not even a good team, actually.
No, they're terrible. Followed that up. A 4-0 win against Skalicia, Andrew. So we got the win on the board.
More like it.
Yaroslav Krobar, another one of the youngsters that I like. Everyone's a youngster. That's good. Rusnak, Kirstic, Gonyo.
Here's a moment of crisis for you, Ash.
Yes.
Every single player at this club is younger than you and me.
Oh, don't do this. I'm not even going to acknowledge that. It's in the future as well, Andrew. So we're even older. Sad. Skalicia, 4-0. Followed that up. Bang, 2-1 against Banska. So both the teams took points off us. We've redeemed ourselves, apart from Dubnich, but that's fine. So at this point...
They redeemed themselves against us.
Yeah, at this point, I think Trenchard had also dropped points. So we just needed a win. Last game of the season to pick up 7th. That was it. That's all we needed. We drew.
Oh.
It just didn't. Also, I think I'm wrong, actually. But we dropped the points we needed.
Yeah.
We actually found ourselves in 8th, so we were 3 points behind Skalicia.
Okay.
No,
out of interest, did Trenchard actually end up in the playoffs?
I think it could very well have been one of them where
in our first year we didn't.
Yeah.
And it was very confusing for us both.
The European places. Yes, so there was one.
They did.
Oh, and they lost to the team that finished in 4th. Anyway, so it was between Tonava and Razombarok, and that's yet to be played, but we don't care about that because screw them. So that's between these. Who is it? These two.
So, here's a question for you, Ash.
Yes.
You've finished the season.
Yes. We've still got another 6.
And we are only on part 7 out of 13.
Yes.
What the fuck did you do?
I took liberties, Andrew, and I got really excited. So I did another season. I wanted to play a whole season with this team. I just did. They were really good. I was really excited. And I was like, screw Andrew. Screw that guy. I'm not having 2 months with this team. I'm going to play another season. I don't know who this fella is. I've accidentally brought up the
probably for the best.
The menus.
I probably would. I'd have just left them just to annoy you.
But if we remember where we were worst and worst for goals conceded and goals scored. We finished 4th best and 5th worst for goals scored. We only had 18 goals scored from 23, and we finished on 34 from 32. So we definitely improved the team. That's
pretty good.
I guess without saying, a 13-point gap between ourselves and the team behind, and a 15-point gap between ourselves and the danger zone, which realistically with this team should never have been a concern.
Yeah.
So let's hop forward to, I think we're actually, if I remember rightly, like towards the second half of next season.
Okay.
So we've got quite a bit to jump through. I'm not going to go too much into it, but we did have a few transfers. And Roland Galicia, or Galchik, our best player at the club, he's not going to be there.
Oh.
So here we are, the following season, Andrew, 21st of March. Upsettingly, the day after my 36th birthday.
It's also like there or thereabouts the anniversary of getting the job.
It is 36th birthday. I thought it was 46th. I really upset myself then for a sec. So last season, the one that we've just gone through half of, I brought in 2 players. I brought in a fella called Junior, centre mid, quite young. Looked like he has a bit of potential. I think I got picked him more by the potential than I did his actual stats. They're not bad, but they're just not great. But he also came in on free and he's £220 a week wages.
Good determination as well.
Yeah, so his wages were £220. So I thought, you know what, that'd be fine. And then the other fella we brought in was Jose Bacayuva, a right back, or right, kind of whole right side from Brazil. £900 a week, which is a bit steep for us. But look at the state of him. If we look at his stats,
very, very good.
They're not the best.
17 stamina.
He's paid 20, got 1 goal and 2 assists.
17 determination. There's a few good things there. Yeah.
But yeah, he's pretty decent.
Have you been? I assume you've played him at right back.
So yeah, I've kind of been playing a few different formations. But predominantly it's been like kind of a 4-2-3-1 based. I'll cover that in very shortly as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bakayuva's kind of the signings of the end of last year. The signings that we've done this year, or shall I say, we'll cover sales. So we lost Lubomir Belko, who was our top goalkeeper. He was really good, to be fair.
Okay.
I managed to bring in another goalkeeper. He said he wanted to leave. So I thought, you know what, Belko, we'll let you go.
He's gone to Genoa, so...
Yeah, so we've bought in
He's probably a bit too good for this league.
We've bought in just shy of £500,000 for him. And as we said, Galchik has also gone. He's gone to FC Lugano for about £750,000. He's valued currently between 1.4 and 3.1 million. I would rather have kept him on, but it was unlikely we were going to keep that, and I could do with some of the money from him, to be honest. Because
725 grand. Did you manage to get a sell-on fee at all, or?
I don't believe we did on these, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I'll have a little look. And then there was a few others that went, but they're all a bit naff. No one cares about them.
Yeah.
So the guys that we brought in Adrian Chauvin, who was the goalkeeper to cover, his name, Belko, that left. Belko was good. But you just have these goalkeepers that are good, and their stats are good, and their ratings are good, but they just do stupid mistakes. And I think it's probably the game, kind of, I can't know what it was, but like the match engine more than the player, but he did a few of them, and it annoyed me. So we bought him Chauvin on a free, £500 a week. We thought he was an adequate replacement. I don't know why I'm saying we. I was the only one making these decisions. I thought he was an adequate replacement, but ideally I'd look at probably getting a better goalkeeper next season, just to kick us onto that next level. To replace Galchik, I bought in this fella, Alganyen Gasovic.
See, my thing was always, if I can't pronounce their surname, I just call them by their first name. That doesn't help you in this scenario.
It does not. We just call him Gassy. 1.6 thousand a week.
Ooh.
But
and also look at its value, 30k to 425.
Yeah, it's really poor. But as a player, pretty decent. He's good both sides, which is useful for us. Again, we'll cover that quite shortly. And he can play up through the middle as well. 6 goals and an assist from 19. So it's not too bad return, but not kind of elite.
Yeah.
We have got other wingers as well, which are challenging him.
I mean, he's outperforming his XG, so...
Yeah. We also signed Salt Noj. Definitely.
Nagy?
Absolutely. I think Nagy's Noj, but I'm not sure. I heard second yellow card call someone Noj before. We needed more cover between that left back position, because we've got a few guys here, Hallerbrin and James. Both of them are centre backs. And Straka, I think, is a right back. Katula is the guy that I think is brilliant, but I think he's better to utilise him a little bit further forward if we can. And then the final one was Til Sissoko. I was absolutely gassed when we brought him in. Centre back, 2.1 grand a week. It's a lot of money.
6'7".
He's huge. He's massive.
I hope you've been using my set pieces on him.
I've been using some set pieces.
With his no goals, I'm going to say he didn't.
He's yet to score. But he's pretty decent. He's quite fast. Good strong as well.
Jumping reach.
Yeah,
and you didn't put my corners on.
He's a big boy. But you're probably wondering what that happens for us in the league. As we say, we're 21st of March. So we'll jump into the league and I'll just give you a little update where we are.
Ooh,
we're in the top half. But if you notice, Andrew, our wonderful friends, Trenchin, are still ahead of us.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
that's a bit annoying.
Oddly, Slovan Bratislava are behind.
Oh, wow.
They're not doing the best.
What's going on there?
We have got a game in hand, so if we win that, we'll only go 2 points behind Trenchin. So we've got that as an option. But what we want in,
Galicia in trouble.
as I said, yeah, with Scalicia. As I said, what we want in is European football. So,
Yeah.
as we know, we've got 3 options. We've got League, we've got Cup, or we've got kind of the weird League European playthrough. So, you're probably wondering... I don't know how I called it that. Playoffs. You're probably wondering how we're doing and getting on in the Cup, which is why we came back at this point. Because we find ourselves in the semi-final against Galicia.
Ooh.
We've already played the first leg.
2-1 down from the first leg.
Yeah, that wasn't the best. That wasn't too keen on that. So, yeah.
I have faith you're going to turn it around.
2-1 down from our home leg. And if I just open it up, we absolutely battered them.
Oh, wow.
Literally battered them. And they scored in the 90th minute. I nearly put my head through the table when it happened.
However, one moment. There is my proof that if Kovacic hadn't broke his leg, that season in the championship group would have been better for me.
Potentially. Also, if you notice the player map here, do you see this monstrosity going on?
Yes.
I'll cover that with you very shortly. I'll show you now actually our formation. So I had been playing a formation very similar to what we're currently on. And then at the start of January, when we put all our friendlies in, I watched a video from a certain second yellow card. And he his was a kind of evolution as to what I'm playing. So I've mostly adopted what he's done. Hence why we're unbeaten in the league since then. Before we were doing good, but it just wasn't quite there. Start of the league wasn't the best. So yeah, we seem to have picked that up. And what it is a 7-2. Jeez, that's a lot of defend. 4-2-3-1. It's kind of I've got it listed as a tiki-taka, but it's just relatively quite aggressive. And the kind of main bit is that if you notice, everyone is shoot less often.
Oh, okay.
Except oddly for the centre backs, I suppose.
No, they are.
No, they're just by standard, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he says that most of the time you lose just things from people just having stupid shots. And I was like, that's a good point. And also,
I could see that.
if you look on the position, I've got to try and remember how to do it now.
What you've got them on swap position with?
Yes, so our wingers swap positions. Hence why it's good for us to have wingers that can cover
looks very narrow. Yeah.
both sides. Oh, the dog's kicking off. Getting impatient. Let's go and see what happened in the second leg. So here we are, the 1st of May, and as you can see on the right of the screen, Andrew, we're in the final.
Cup final.
Issue
very tough opposition.
Issue being, we're playing the best team in the country. They've won the league for the last 17
4 years, I think.
And also, we're ahead of Piss in Trenching.
It's about time.
They can get in the bin. A 6-point gap on them.
Anyway.
And a 17 goal difference. We're actually doing things at the moment.
Very nice.
Do you want to know what happened in that second leg?
Yes, I would love to know.
I think I pressed the wrong one. I think you do. So we'll put it on the tree and we'll hop back to the 3rd round and you'll see that we beat them 6-3 on aggregate.
Very nice.
We
so what's that?
5-1
in the second leg.
Absolutely slapped them, Andrew. We had goals from, if it ever loads, goals. I shouldn't have clicked it. I just shouldn't. We've got the loading screen. Bear with us for just a second. Oh, drum roll. Goals. A hat trick from Fromentine, who's one of our youngsters.
Very nice.
Til Sissoko, the big boy, he's got himself a goal in the 2nd minute, and I believe it was a penalty. I've just read there. I believe it was a header actually from a corner. Marek Orovec, another youngster that I haven't shown you yet. And then Boton Gurgley scored theirs. Don't know who he is. Brilliant name though. I am a big fan of this whole match momentum graph. It may very well be behind my head. Let me see if I can bring it full screen. I can't. Oh, I can. There we go.
There we go.
I just like it. I like how it shows. It doesn't necessarily give you an exact representation, but I think it's better than stats. But who knows? Either way, we slapped them in all of the available measurements. Yeah.
That one.
Who knows? So, league-wise, we've been doing all right. Cup-wise, we've been doing all right. And a good sign, the Dunstrada, who we paid, we actually managed to shovel them 4-0 in the league.
What on earth has happened there?
And then we played them 3 days later and lost 1-0. so there is
on
that.
Aggregate, you'd have beat them 4-1.
We've got a chance, yeah.
Cup final, 4-1 win.
Back-to-back 3-2s against Bratislava and Trenčín. We're actually performing in the promotion group.
I'm not a fan, though, that you've played on the Friday and then the cup finals on the Monday. First of all, why is the cup final on a Monday?
Yeah, probably what you'll notice, maybe not.
At 5 o'clock as well.
I played Trenching with a completely rotated squad. I took that into account, and I played almost entirely the B team. Hence why you've got the likes of Rusnak, Lukac, who again is another youngster.
Yeah.
Gacevic to a degree, but it's because we were playing other players. Fromentine, we started him because he, between him and our other striker, we've got good choices either way. Fromentine got another hat-trick up here as well, but that was in a friendly. Don't worry about it. We'll move on. So, yeah, we find ourselves in the final of the Cup, 5 points away from like an automatic European spot. We're still on for all 3 of our chances to get into Europe. So let's see how the first one of those goes, and hopefully we can grab it at the first time of asking. So the final was a pretty quiet game. There was 1 goal in the final, 74th minute, and it was by a player by the name of Jean-Pierre Nsame. Unfortunately, it was from Dunstrader. So we had our first chance of getting into Europe, and we've dropped it, unfortunately. I would say, if you see the stats, we didn't get turned over. Arguably, we were the better team, but if it was a league game, I'd say a draw was a fair result.
Yeah, I mean, looking at that, you've slightly edged it stats-wise, but a draw was probably the fairest.
Yeah, so it's kind of them. We've still got 2 more chances to get Europe.
I suppose that's just a bit of their quality showing through as the team that's won the league for the last 4 years.
Exactly, and the fact that it's Dunstrader that won the league, we do still have the opportunity of the playoffs. So the next one, hopefully, is just getting league finish top 3, and we don't need to worry about the playoffs. So we'll hop forward now to, I believe, the end of the season being the next one, and we'll see what's going on. I'll also give you a little look as to how our youngsters have been getting on and what they now look like. So our second opportunity to get into Europe, as we said, top 3 positions. We didn't bloody manage it. We were 2 points off. We managed to gap Trenching by 10 points.
Yeah,
and we were, even taking into account the kind of split, we were still the 4th best team, comfortably so.
Yeah.
So I think we did a cracking job. When was it Scalicia when we were in the relegation zone before?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I think we did really strong then, because it's quite a difference. But it looks like it's going to be a bit of a challenge for us to break into that Dunstrader and Ternava kind of stranglehold. You also notice that they've been toppled as league winners.
Yeah. I would imagine next season we're probably going to see Slovan Bratislava bounce back.
Hopefully so. Well, maybe not. Actually, not hopefully so.
Hopefully not for us.
So we're going to be in the European Cup playoff things. There's 4 teams, so it's going to be ourselves against Liptovsky Mikolas, and then Trenčín are going to be playing against Bratislava. So we have possibly another leg of our Trenčín rivalry. Hopefully, it's all smiles, rainbows on our 3rd opportunity. I am going to hop over because we've already played the first leg. We played Liptovsky Mikolaus, and we beat them 3-0. We had Orovec, Marek Orovec, who's our little youngster. He's playing in that attacking mid-role. Look at that match momentum game. We absolutely battered them. They just didn't have an answer to us. The stats are just
71%.
It was a mauling. Kirstic getting goals 63 and 80. I was a little bit nervous before that. Also, if you noticed the analysis, we just battered him. He just did. So that gave us a little bit of confidence going in to the final, which will be against Trenčín, our old rivals. We did actually have the ball in the net, Andrew, within the first minute. Unfortunately, it was ruled out for offside.
Disgraceful decision.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about it. It was the right decision, but still, it's fine. 3 minutes later, however, Trenčín also had the ball in the net, but that one wasn't ruled out, fortunately. So, we are the better team in the game. We just have been. We do actually manage to equal things on the 67th.
Very nice.
Which is good.
Keep it up.
Unfortunately so. We weren't able to do any more or push on past that, and we did find ourselves in extra time. So we did get out of the gates very well, picking up a penalty in the 94th minute, which we missed. That was it, Andrew. I thought, this is it. We've had 3 opportunities. We've absolutely flapped a lot of them until Mr. Orovech, who we've had various mentions of, scores his second goal of the game in the 96th minute and gets us one hand into Europe,
Very nice.
which we managed to hold on, get our second hand on it, and we won the pissing thing. We have eventually
Get in.
got Europe. It took its sweet ass time, but we ducking did it, as I've put in my notes. So we'll have a little wander through the actual game itself, as you can see. Orovech,
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Look at those stats.
again, I was really annoyed. If we'd have lost that, I think I'd have put my whole self through the computer.
The first half, it was actually slightly in their favour.
Yeah, definitely.
But
But
then second half
this
onwards, they just...
this start of extra time, actually, let me bring it up because I realised our fat heads are going to be in the way. This absolutely mauled them. I don't know how we came out so good, but we did. Like, this a little bit shaky. Yeah, we held on. We've got it. Marek Orovech, the man of the moment. He has been doing wonderful stuff, this kid. 18, obviously, because we've got youngsters and they're all insane.
Yeah.
Andrew, I'm so excited. That's such a good team. Fromentine, he has been chased here, there, and everywhere by almost entire of Europe.
Oh my
Look
god.
at the state of it. So,
Juventus, Inter Milan.
yeah, Inter have put in an
AC
offer.
Milan.
I refused it. I said, look, pay me his release clause, which annoyingly is 1.1 million. We've got the option to extend it by 3 years, which I think I'm going to when someone comes in, potentially. I had a chat with him and says, look, lad, I don't want to sell you. What would you deem an acceptable amount? And he said 2 million. So basically, as long as either he becomes happy with us and allows us to offer him a contract, which we can't, unfortunately, it looks like he's going to go for 1.1 million. But
That's a shame.
yeah, it is. It is. I was going to say, where's his finishing gone? His finishing was 7 then. Yeah, he's picked up massively. Talking of players picking up, we've got Marvin Katula, still with the club. If you remember before, he could only do wings, attack, and left wing back. He's now really comfortable as a fullback, left mid as well. I did start.
I'm sorry, I'm not playing him at left back. He has 2 tackling.
Yeah, that's not the best, but
not my left
back. If you're playing a nice aggressive formation and you've got really strong centre backs, you probably can afford it. But he's got the capabilities to drop back if we need him to. But yeah, he plays kind of either wing, can play up top as well, to be fair. 10 finishing is not too bad. 5'7". Yeah. Strength's a little bit sketchy.
As a rotation option, it might not be.
Jumping reach of 2, that could be better. But if you do notice, which I love about this team at the moment, is their training ratings are all pretty high, especially for our youngsters.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So what I've been doing is anything less than 6, I criticise them twice. Say, look, sort yourself out.
Yeah.
Anything over 8.5, I just give them a little pat on the back, tell them they're being good. Anything between, you're just training, you're doing your job. Like,
just ignore
get out of my face. Ziyech is also wanted by 4 teams: Salzburg, Bruges, Anderlecht, and Monaco. He's the one that we mentioned earlier about potentially letting go. He's played quite a bit for us. He's done good over the last 2 seasons. He's picked up really decent result, but he's just not an imposing centre back. It's not worth. If it was a different team, I'd look at pushing him up to the kind of anchor mid, the anchor man, defensive mid. But we've got so many youngsters who can play that. One being Yaroslav Krobat, who I'm pretty sure I'm rating him
very good.
Yeah, I'm rating him very highly as well because his name's Krobat. Yeah. What a name! We've also got Luboslav Gaidos, who's as young and probably just as good. They're just a very good team. We just are a very good team.
Yeah. I can't argue with what I'm seeing. I'm excited to get my hands on this team, and just so many youth players that it just looks like a fun save.